Let's get straight to the point. No matter how much you obfuscate your API keys, storing them inside your app's binary is definitely insecure and there's no way to do it correctly. Instead, you need some kind of proxy between your app and the API provider that you're using, so something like OpenAI or Anthropic. Of course, there are multiple options to go about this, starting from your own server to something like Firebase, who has a nice Gemini integration. Starting your own server, of course, introduces lots of new security risks. Another option which we will be talking about in this video is called AIProxy, and it's what I use inside of my AI-based apps. This video is not sponsored by them, it's just my take on the topic. So here you can see the landing page for AIProxy, and it's actually super easy to integrate this into your app and to connect it to different model providers. So in this video I will be going through the entire setup step from having an empty app to making your first secured AI API request in your iOS app. So first of all, you can see that they have a range of different pricing options, and even the starter option is already quite a good deal, but the first 1,000 requests per month are completely free and there is no credit card required, so you can just get started right now. You just create your account and then you can log in here. And let's first have a look at the documentation before we dive into adding a project. Looking at the documentation, we can see how many different model providers they already support. So all of the common ones, so stuff like Gemini, Grok and OpenAI are of course supported, but also translation APIs like DeepL and even 11 Labs for text-to-speech is supported. So inside of here we will be adding a project. So I'll give this the name Secure API Keys because that's the name of the accompanying Xcode project. I'll create a project here. And then you can see our little overview here. There are a few things we need to configure. And first of all, we need to add a service. So in our case, we will be using OpenAI. And then we'll also need to configure device check for added security. This makes sure that only real iOS devices can send requests to AIProxy. So let's get started by configuring device check first, because this is needed to add model providers in the second step. So we can just click configure here. And in my case, I already have a configuration from my other apps, but I'm not going to copy it. Instead, I'm going to walk you through how to create your own configuration. So you just press configure here. Now you might be asking, what's a P8 file? What's a device check key ID? And what's my Apple team ID? Well, you just go into your Apple developer account. So developer.apple.com/account. And then down here, you tap on keys, and then you will add a new key here, and you will just select device check. I already created a device check key, so I cannot do this, but you will have the ability to enable this here. So you check device check, you'll give this key a name, something like AIProxy device check key. The description is optional. You'll just continue, then you'll be able to download your P8 file, your device check key ID, and of course also your Apple team ID. You can view that in the top right hand corner of the Apple developer platform. So as I cannot create a new configuration, I'll just copy my configuration that I already had, and then all of this will get filled in here. So hopefully this step worked for you as well, as I cannot show it in full detail. So now that we have device check set up, we will be adding a new service, and here you can see an overview of all the available services. In our case, we will be using OpenAI, so let's just select that. For this example, we will allow requests to all endpoints, but you could also set it up so only specific endpoints are allowed for this service. And you should definitely make sure to enable protect requests with device check, because this is ultimately what secures your API from being abused. So let's select add new service here, and then we already have the settings available. But of course we cannot call this service yet because we need to set up an API key for OpenAI and upload it to AIProxy. So for that we will be going into the API keys section here on the left, and then we will say create key. We can give this a name and we will say OpenAI key, and then we will have to create one. So for that, we will go on to the OpenAI website. So I'm now here on platform.openai.com, and I already have an OpenAI account. If you don't, you just create one real quick and of course add your credit card to it in order to be charged for your API request, or just buy some credit balance. Now we will be going into the API keys section here on the left, and then we will say create new secret key. And then we will give this a name. So I will call this example key AIProxy. Add this to any project you want and give this the permissions that you need. But for now, in this example, we'll just use all. You could, of course, also restrict it to only do certain things. So we will say create secret key. And then you gotta make sure to copy it right here because it will never be shown to you again. That's already the setup for OpenAI. Of course, if you don't have any credit balance there yet, you'll need to set that up yourself as well. And we'll just paste the API key for OpenAI here into AIProxy and we'll say add new key. It's important that you don't close this page because you'll only see this part here once, and this is what you need to copy into your Swift project. So I'll just copy this part here and then we'll head back to Xcode. And I have an example project here that's completely empty, just a button, send request, and a text that will then display the response that we get from OpenAI. So I'll just paste the OpenAI service in here. And of course, this won't work because we haven't imported AIProxy yet. So we'll need to add that as a dependency. I've linked this Swift package GitHub page down in the video description, and we'll just copy the URL here and head back to Xcode. We'll say file, add package dependencies, and then this bugs out from time to time for me. So I'll just add the search string here and wait for a second. All right, so there we already have AIProxy Swift. We'll say add package. This will fetch the package and we'll make sure to add it to our correct target. Add package, and there we go. And now we can import AIProxy just like that. And now this should work. Now, as we have configured device check, there is one more step in order to be able to test your API requests in the simulator, because simulators, of course, are not real devices. We will have to add a AIProxy device check bypass key to our environment variables. So let's copy this key name here and go back to Xcode. And here we will go into our scheme and edit the scheme. And then we'll go to arguments and environment values. And we will pass this as a name. And then we can copy our key here and pass this as a value. And then we can close this again. And now we can use AIProxy inside of a simulator as well as on real devices. In order for device check to work on real devices, we'll need to make sure that the bundle ID is registered in your Apple developer account. So for that, we'll open this page here for certificates, identifiers, and profiles. And in the identifier sections, we'll press plus, select app IDs, continue. This is of type app. And then inside of Xcode, we can go into our project and copy our bundle identifier. So this is just an example project. And then in here, we'll add this as a explicit bundle ID. We don't need to configure any capabilities for now. As a description, I will say secure API keys example. Then we'll say continue and register. And now it's registered, and now we can actually start implementing our API calls. So we'll head into the Swift examples section here in the documentation, and we'll just scroll down real quick to OpenAI. And there you can see there are a bunch of different things you can implement. So non-streaming chat completion, buffered chat completion, streaming chat completion. You can also work with images, editing images, uploading images for an edit, making a web search completion call, and so on. There are tons of different endpoints that you can call here. In our example, we'll just get a non-streaming chat completion from OpenAI. So we'll just copy this example here, and then we'll walk through how this works inside of Xcode. So let's just create a task here inside of our send request button and then paste that there. Of course, you'll have to make sure that your model is set to a model that is currently available. We can check out a list of available models by going to developers.openai.com/API/docs and then clicking on models on the left-hand side. And here you can see a list of all the available models right now. So in our example, we might try out GPT 5.4 Nano. So we'll just copy this and we'll paste it into our request body here. So for our example, there is already a system request, you are a friendly assistant, and a user message, hello world. And I think we can leave it like that, and hopefully it will say hello world back to us. So we use our OpenAI service, which is the one that we copied during setup, and we'll send a chat completion request with our request body and seconds to await. So this is the timeout. It will wait for 2 minutes, and if there's no response for 2 minutes, it will error out. And then the API to get back the result is response.choices.first.message.content. So this is of course based on the OpenAI API itself and not something that AIProxy designed. In our case, it just prints it out, but we don't really want to print it out. We should create a state variable and display that in our text here. So let's say at state var request response. And this should just be an empty string. We'll show this in our text at the bottom. And then here, in addition to printing, and here we could say if let response equals this long string, and then unwrap it that way. And here we could just print the response, and we could also set our request response to that response. All right, and now let's run this in a simulator and see if it works. All right, and there we go. Our simulator has spun up. So let's click our send request button and observe both the text and our console or our output here. So we can see it replied with hello world, how can I help you today? And it was actually quite fast. All right, so that's already it. I hope you enjoyed the video and I hope your API keys are nicely secured now.